Welcome back, everybody, to Rob's MetalWorks. We are here at the Strip downtown to support a band that I've been talking about on my social media feeds for quite some time. The band from Lafayette, Louisiana. Yes, I have with me the band Capra. All of you, welcome to our program.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's so cool to be here with you to talk to you about an amazing record. And before we get into it, there's so many people I think that are still learning about the band. I confess that I'm new to the band myself, learning about you guys earlier this year when your debut for Metal Blade dropped. So for those people and for myself, tell us a little bit about the initial beginnings of Capra in Louisiana.
Sure. It was Jeremy and I that started it. It was December of 2015. I just got out of rehab. And we wanted to do something different than we had been doing in the past. I think we've played in like 8 bands together, from like ambient instrumental to doom bands before. And we wanted to do something a little bit quicker paced, more fast, more loud, just more of everything. And so we went through a bunch of lineup changes. He actually started off playing guitar.
Really?
And I started playing bass. And we had a drummer that quit the night before a show, and we were like, we want to play this show.
Jeremy's like, I got this shit.
He's a natural-born drummer.
Yeah, I've always played drums, so it was like, do we want to do it or do we not? Because we could pull it off. I mean,
and he knew the parts, I knew the parts, so we switched. We did it as a 3-piece with a different vocalist, and it was kind of like the moment when the band was like, okay, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to go forward.
Right.
And then we had some issues with our vocalist. We had some issues with our bass player, so we kept switching those out. And we found Ben Paramore in 2017, and I think we got Crow in 2018.
We just found
or 2019.
So
it's been like 3.
We were just reading
them.
Forgot your own history.
So
Everything's happened so.
it's kind of a big blur of just members, but we finally have everything solidified. And then we just added a new guitar player, Trevor, to the mix. We officially added him, I think, in May of 2020, but he was been in the band since October of 2019. Mm-hmm. We just couldn't say anything.
Sure.
We wanted to put the album out before we announced him.
Is he on the record?
He's not on the record.
He's not on the record.
No.
Yeah. Well, it's so to me, it's so critical. I've been doing this long enough where you see bands kind of evolve, and then they finally get that lineup, and you fucking know, like, this is the fucking lineup. This is the lineup that's gonna, take us to that next level. That's gonna help define who we are as a band. And a lot has been said about the formation of this band, especially now since Crow is leading the vocal attack as the front woman of this band. And people, my cousin and I were talking in the vehicle, and I said, how do you love the record? He goes, I love it. I had to listen to it a couple of times, but it finally started, getting to me. And as I was sharing before we started recording, we're old school thrash guys, metal guys, but we love it all. I love all heaviness. And, I've heard your brand of brutality called, hardcore or punk or metal. And to me, it's just like a conglomerate of all of it. I don't even know if you guys like to label it. So, Crow, what do you say if people say, like, what are you delivering musically? What do you say?
Oh, man. It's so hard just because I think what makes us so, interesting is that we all kind of have different influences that we draw from, and that's why it kind of sounds so I'd like to say unique, but for me, for example, I've always been really into thrash, and I know we were just talking about Death Angel and stuff. And I do like a lot of hardcore punk, but I also like a lot of just straight up singer-songwriter type stuff. I draw influences from all kinds of different stuff. It's not just from one area.
So do you like to be classified at all? Is that something that's
I think what people are calling it is metallic hardcore at this point, which is something new, a new genre that I just heard about, but it kind of works. We have metal influences, we have punk influences, we have thrash influences, and hardcore. It's kind of all over. We even throw black metal in there at some point in time. But, when people ask me, what? There's no black metal. But I just say rock and roll. It's
all
all
rock
just
and roll.
rock and roll,
Hey.
man. It's fun. It's like party rock and roll.
If it moves you and you dig it and you bang your fucking head to it, it's all good.
That's right.
It's all good. And guys, I don't want to be remiss for all the people out there that are going to be introduced to the band tonight. Let's take a quick second and just introduce who you are and what you do in the band.
Sure. I'm Tyler Harper. I play guitar in Capra.
Jeremy Rendazzo, drums.
I'm Crow. I do vocals.
Yeah. You know, Jeremy, I keep staring at you, man. To me, you look like the typical fucking rowdy, crazy drummer guy. You have long arms, you know, you're all disheveled and shit, and that's a drummer for you.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to be out of your mind and keep doing this night after night.
You're like the scary group, and I think that's one of the things too that I find attractive about Capra. There's like all this scary brutality, and then there's this beauty who's leading the front of this band, and I think people find
That's right.
find that, you know, subconsciously appealing too, because you know we all love you know, heavy music, and then to have some serenity and beauty in it is a good thing. Too many ugly people in heavy music. We need some beauty.
That's right.
All right, so let's talk about your brand new record that just came out. Blacklight distributed also by Metal Blade Records, in transmission. So for all you people out there, take a look at the cover. If you have not yet grabbed it, go ahead and take a good look at it. We'll talk about it just now, so you can pick it up after you watch this interview. Let's first talk about the title, In Transmission. I've heard some things about that, and I think I find it quite intriguing.
What have you heard?
That, you know, it deals with, you know, things that life things. I mean, obviously Crow's lyrics are pretty freaking deep, so I think there comes a point where we find ourselves in a period of being in transmission or transgression or changing or evolution, or caught in purgatory maybe, where we don't even know where we're going or what we're doing.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good.
Actually pretty spot on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of came to it like I mean, it took forever. That was like the last thing we could not figure out what we wanted to call
We had
it.
so many names. I think I had a whole notebook of just album titles.
Right.
And then we finally landed on that one. And
Yeah, I mean, it honestly just has like a variety of different meanings to me, but I think like kind of like the main thing was just like I was thinking like radio transmission, like we're transmitting this like concept to you. You know what I mean? It's like
finally, after
Yeah.
sitting on it for a year and a half.
Right.
Because we had finished the album in 2019.
right, like this is it. This is the message.
Yeah.
And then COVID.
COVID happened, and we started working with the label. We started working with Metal Blade, and then it got pushed back, and we were like, oh, we're never going to get this out.
Right.
So finally,
Yeah.
we got to do it.
Yeah.
So you recorded a lot, I read, in 2019, but also did some during the pandemic too.
We did, yeah. We did 2 songs during the pandemic. 3 songs, right?
3.
Yeah.
We added 3.
Yeah. Transfiguration, Deadbeat Assailant, and Mutt. Yeah. Those 3 were
Speaking
added.
of Mutt, who does the backup vocals on Mutt?
That's going to be my buddy Jed Payne. He's another guy from Lafayette. We've been sober together for a long time.
Oh,
and
cool.
He was like, hey, let me be on the album, and I knew he could do vocals. So
like, yeah, sure,
it wasn't an
He
immediate
sounds
no.
like Crow, just like a male Crow. He did a pretty good job.
He did a great job. It wasn't like an
great job,
immediate
man.
no that I would give to normal people. I would just be like, no, you can't be on our album. I'm sorry. But I knew he did vocals before, so we were like, yeah, absolutely. Come, let's try it out, you know? And he
y'all must
crushed
be pretty
it.
tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
He
man.
crushed it.
That's cool. Yeah, he did. He crushed it.
Wasn't he also in the music video for Medusa?
He was. Yeah, he was.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen that video, but there's the part where they're like at the
Poker table.
and he's one of the people at the table.
Right, he's right next to me. That's Jed.
Cool. So the record sounds great. Did you guys record in Louisiana?
We did. Yeah, we
Yeah.
recorded with a friend of ours, Jai Benoit. He plays in cool bands like Golgothan and Father Rust. And then we had it mixed by Taylor Young of Nails, Twitching Tongues, and then I think mastered by Brad Boatwright.
I think that's one of the things that I love about this record. Like it's, you know, sometimes when you support the underground, you know, the expectation, or black metal, like we were talking about Bruca earlier, you know, the expectation is that, you know, rough kind of mix. But to me, this record is really kind of you know, it's right there at that fine line between between raw and kind
polished,
of and
yes.
polished.
Oh,
Yeah.
Something we wanted to definitely avoid.
Absolutely. I love the raw feeling of an album, so we wanted to give that vibe. We wanted to give like a live vibe to it.
Capture that.
Yeah.
It's so like too like when I listen to this record, it almost kind of makes me anxious. Like I just
Good.
want to like.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah,
We did our job.
I want to break the windows.
Nice.
Intended.
Yeah.
I want to call my ex-girlfriend like, I hate you, bitch. Something like that. You know?
Perfect.
You know,
We've done our jobs correctly.
You know, I listen, you know, and I think that too. I think a lot has been said too. Realistically speaking, that you know, I think a lot of people relate to Crow's delivery, and they really feel the delivery, and that you know resonates with people, and it makes them really connect with the band, because we all suffer, we all go through anxiety and things like that, and somehow, you know, listening to these songs really kind of helps kind of get a little bit of that out.
Absolutely.
You know?
That's another goal for sure. And I think what helps is that, you know, it's all understandable too. Like she's yelling, she's angry, but you can understand what she's trying to say. You can get the message.
There's
you know?
just like this constant intensity.
Yeah.
It doesn't let up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot. I do have to say that it took a while to get to the point to where when I came off of stage after performing it, I wasn't like totally emotionally racked, just because it does take me to, you know, I have to be at a vulnerable place to be able to perform it in a way that I feel is authentic to the way that I wrote it. So it's like this constant struggle between trying to keep delivering that authenticity without absolutely just like destroying myself in the process.
Yeah. That's a lot of pressure too, because I think when people come to the show, they expect to see that.
Right, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, night after
Suffer.
night.
Yeah.
We can't have an off day.
No, for sure. And we're going to talk about this tour here in a little bit. So you guys recorded the record. Tell me, Crow, we've kind of touched upon it a little bit, but not into detail. But there's some really deep lyrical themes in this record. So share about a few of those.
So I think that the main like umbrella of the entire album is just like mental health for me, just because it's something that I have had a lot of trouble with for so long, and I know that a lot of the guys in the band feel the same way. A lot of it does have to do with like, you know, one of the songs I wrote about like my relationship with my mother, which was very complicated, to say the least. And then I did write one of the songs on the album just about my experience as a woman in general, but also just having to do with like playing music. It's been a lot of gatekeeping, a lot of people that just don't want me to do what I do, but you know, unfortunately, I'm going to keep doing it. So yeah.
Still breaking barriers now. You know, it's hard.
2021.
It's hard to believe in 2021.
It's very hard to believe, but you know, it is what it is.
You know, we see so many societal-wise. We see so many doors opening. You know, as far as like sexual orientation and you know things like that. And I think the public is becoming more and more as the generations go by. You know, adapting more to the changing things that we see in society, but still, you know, encountering some of that. You know, either racism or some type of you know, arrogance or, you know, criticism still in the market from different parts of the country. And, you know, we're in the South, you know, and I know you guys have been kind of all over the country. So when we talk about touring, I want to get your thoughts on what the people that you've met and experienced in different parts of the country have been like. But I don't want to leave the record just yet. So tell me a little bit about, how did the deal with Metal Blade happen? Or how did you get on Metal Blade's radar?
I honestly, we don't even know.
So
we were working with a guy named Matt Bacon, and
Whom we're still working
we
with.
we still work with him, and he's a great guy. And somehow he knows Chris Santos with Blacklight Media.
Yep.
And he got our album demos to him, and he loved it. And that went to Brian Slagle. Chris went to Brian Slagle, and Brian Slagle loved it. So we started getting all these emails from Blacklight Media and from Metal Blade, and we were like, "Wow, what is happening?" You know, like, this is insane.
just being in the right place at the right time.
Right place, right time with the right person. It's all about networking, and it just worked out. I mean, we all wanted the same thing. We all wanted to get to that level.
Sure.
And it just kind of happened for us, which was
That's
great.
a beautiful thing. Believe it or not, my bio on my personal Robert Chavez Facebook page says, it's all about being at the right place at the right time.
That's right.
I
really
kid you
is.
not. I kid you not. It's so ironic that you say that.
Meeting the right people, like
That
it
is
just
so-
it all lines up at some point.
It was destiny, dude.
It was.
Especially with some of the things that you've gone through.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man, look at you now.
I know.
Bro.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
You're touring.
Blows
you're
my
doing
mind
things.
every
People
day.
you're gaining fans every day. People are listening to your music far more than what you think.
Yeah, it's very cool.
And really relating to it and loving it. I mean, that's why I wanted to be out here to interview and talk with you guys. I said, man, I'm going to go chat with these people because I really love their record. And, I have a deep passion for heavy music and music that touches me and that kind of drives me to do these types of things. So it's great, man. I'm so happy for you guys.
Thank you so much.
Metal Blade's a great record label with a long history. So you guys are part of that cloth now.
They've just been
Beautiful. Really.
so wonderful.
Yeah, they have been just
Anytime we
the
need
best.
something, they're there. They're very communicative and everything.
And it was something we were worried about in the beginning. You know, we were worried. This is a huge label. There's a lot of big bands. Are we going to get buried? Are
And
we
you know
gonna
what?
get
I
taken
will
advantage
say
of?
this. I thought when I heard you guys were on Metal Blade, I said, Metal Blade doesn't really sign bands that do really true hardcore type of music.
Yeah, we're I think one of two. It's us and
I
Harm's
know.
Way.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we got lucky.
Shy Elude, but
I know. So that says a lot too.
yeah, there's this resurgence of hardcore right now, which is absolutely incredible for me and anybody that loves hardcore. It's crazy.
But definitely, being on Metal Blade is going to help spread the word.
Absolutely.
And get you guys
yeah,
out
it's
there.
helped us out tremendously.
Let's talk about you guys being on the road. You guys have been on the road since the beginning of October?
October 14th was our first show.
okay.
Yeah.
How's
So-
I've seen, I follow you guys on social media. Crow, I follow you on Instagram, so I'm seeing all your stuff.
Yeah.
It looks like things are going pretty good. I see, some of the places are, you guys have been to some big markets like Chicago, New
Yes.
York.
Yes.
And it's kind of cool because, up and coming bands are, they're not playing the biggest places, but keeping it kind of grassroots. And I kind of like that a lot too.
Yeah, it's been back
cool.
and forth. We've played some really big shows, and we've played some shows that we're used to. Some little DIY spaces, and it's been great. Tour's been awesome so far.
Yeah, and so people are loving the record. Obviously, the record is getting a lot of acclaim. I've read several reviews. People are saying positive things about the record. How do you kind of feel about that?
I just welcome, I welcome it all. I'm like, thank you so much. Just because, for me, no matter how big this ends up getting, I will always think of it as just me in my little shitty apartment, writing
Exactly.
at 4 a.m.
That's where I'm at
these
with it
really,
as well.
I just
Exactly.
think it's incredible. I mean, honestly, the more positive feedback we get, the more humbled I feel.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad to have caught up with you guys. I think there's 2 more dates left.
2 more after this show. Yes.
Dallas.
Next is going to be Austin tomorrow night.
Austin.
And then we go to Dallas, and then we wrap everything up. We head home.
Get back home and
Yeah.
kind of. So has a tour been? Personally, has it kind of been difficult to? Since the pandemic kind of happened, a year ago, is this the first real tour that you guys have done?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And so, any crazy stories? Any tribulations? Anything like that? Luckily, you guys have been safe. Thank God. But
Yeah, we've been
anything
safe.
else?
We've been tired.
I mean, other than just great things,
Right.
are we going to talk? I'm going to talk about Chicago.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about
We
it.
played with 200 Stab Wounds in Chicago.
Yeah.
And I see these 2 guys walk by. I said, Tyler, those guys look familiar.
Yeah.
And I was I said, is that the 2 of the guys from Harm's Way?
And I said, no way.
Not the big muscular guy, was it? The
It
big
was-
I
muscular.
was
James.
like, where are they from? And I was Googling, where's Harm's Way from? I didn't know.
Chicago.
I said, no friggin' way, dude.
Yeah.
We got to meet them. They were, I got
Yeah.
to meet James, but
Yeah.
I didn't get to meet.
That was super cool.
Yeah.
We got to
Big
meet.
muscular guy. Is that James?
Yeah, that's James. Yeah.
We
Oh
got to
my
meet Matt Bacon, the guy we've been working with for years for the first time. We got to meet Chris Santos. We got to eat at his restaurant.
Wow.
Man, that
It was
good.
amazing.
I think I saw the picture of the food.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was like you said.
Beauty and
It was
Essex
really
in
good,
Manhattan. And we got to play with High on Fire and Doom Riders.
That was
Like,
incredible. It's all just been so.
it's all a blur to me
wonderful.
right now.
Yeah,
So
it's been
when
incredible.
just you talking a minute ago, it's reminding me again because I was like, oh no, what do we talk about right now?
I think that's the beauty of touring is like you build all these memories and all these
That's
that
right.
you can never, that'll be part of your lives forever. And it's just the beginning, guys.
It is.
So what do you guys have any other plans for the rest of 21, or let's talk about 2022?
I think we're about done for the year. I'm going to go back to writing. I want to write some more songs. And I think in January we're going to do a 3-day run with I Hate God.
Nice.
And then we'll just see what happens.
You kind of said something that I was going to ask you about, and you reminded me when we were talking about Metal Blade. Is there a 2-song demo out there that's kind of beneath the surface that some people don't know about and some people do?
We put out an EP before the album, which
yeah.
had 2 of the songs. It had Torture Ship and Paper Tongues.
Oh, okay.
And
is that on, like, can people find that?
yeah, that's on
anywhere?
Spotify.
Oh, okay,
it's
cool.
before it's mixed. Everything was done by Jai Benoit on that one. So it was recorded, mixed, and mastered by him. And then we sent those songs off with the rest of the album to get remixed, mastered by Taylor Young and Brad. So it's out there. You can find it.
Cool.
Same songs.
They're rougher.
They're a little bit rougher.
Yeah. Sometimes I like to listen.
You might like it better.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Right.
You never know, yeah.
Right,
But-
'cause it's not on our Spotify anymore, right? When the album came out.
No, it's still on our Spotify. And then I think what you're asking about is there was another EP
I think
that
that's the
had
one.
our old vocalist on it.
Maybe.
And it was Red Guillotine and this song called Hot Lips, which
Oh,
we
okay.
don't play anymore.
Yeah, of course not.
Yeah.
New era, new time.
I think I've removed that from the internet.
Sure. Yeah. So what would you guys like to do in 2022?
So much.
I mean, because this record, this record hasn't even been out a year yet. It came out in April.
Right.
For all you people out there, so definitely deserves a lot more support.
Yeah.
One of the things I always tell musicians, guys, because musicians get tired. The record's been out to the public for a little bit, but it's been part of their lives for a lot longer than that.
That's right.
So they're ready to move on. I'm like, dude, like hold on, like give this record the support in the public. That
And
it
I'm
needs
kind of with
before you're
you
ready
on
to
that.
move on.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm not really ready to move on from it yet. Like, we haven't played it enough. I mean, we've been with it for a long time, but the pandemic kind of slowed everything down. It delayed us. So we're ready to keep playing this album. And even though we're writing new songs for the next album, it'll be a hot minute before we put it out, just because we want to we want to get this album out.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the more that you get out on the road and people come on board with the band, the more opportunity for success the follow up will have.
That's right.
For sure. Okay. Crow mentioned videos earlier. You did the video for Locust Preacher, and then the one, right? That was the first one. And then
Torture Ship
Yeah,
was kind of the
that
first
was like
one.
our first
Yeah.
like narrative video, but Torture Ship was like
Performance.
a performance, just like a little performance one we had done.
and even like Medusa, it's like the performance. Like there's like a storyline and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we put a lot. We put a lot into
I was
that.
watching the videos like, damn, these videos look expensive.
I mean, probably not as much as you would have thought.
Right.
But it was just more so just a lot of effort. It was so
Medusa
much
was
effort.
Locust
So
Preacher
many
was
people
pretty
involved.
easy to do. We had the
Yeah.
idea. We had it's pretty much goes with the song and what the song's about.
Right.
Medusa, in a sense, was supposed to be about it was supposed to be a completely different video.
Yeah.
We went through idea after idea after idea, and eventually it landed on like an aerobics video, and we were going to do it in a gym, and then we couldn't get a gym, so it turned into this like horror thriller type video. It was insane, but it came out very well. And,
They look pro.
shout
They look
out
great.
to Matt and Chase and Tom for doing that.
Are all those people from Louisiana too, or no?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're all the guys that worked on our music videos, both of them, Locust Preacher and Medusa.
Yeah. And so they went to Louisiana to shoot.
They're from Lafayette.
Oh, they're from there.
Yeah.
It's the only one that's from New York.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's great. Yeah, they came out great. I love them.
Yeah.
Came out
Thank you.
awesome. And
Yeah.
getting lots of views. So all you people out there, be sure to look for the videos from Capra. They're out there and killer. And not to take anything away from In's transmission, but I heard that just to kind of keep people have such, especially our young people that have such a short attention span. So you kind of want to keep yourselves out in the market. That the band might release maybe a split or an EP before the full length. Is that true?
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're steady writing. We're about 10 songs into something, and
But these songs aren't recorded yet.
not yet. No,
Yeah.
no. These are all up here and with us. Like we've just been rehearsing them when we can. So maybe we'll probably we're gonna play one tonight at the show. Cool. We have one on the road with us, and we'll see what happens. We'll do either an EP, a single, split, something like that before the album. Before the full length. Yes.
So metal, that'll be on Metal Blade 2, these items?
Absolutely.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I can't wait. So are you guys going to, you think at this point, because hardcore kind of is, to me, is like a pretty straightforward, and most hardcore people are pretty dedicated and diehard. Then you hear bands like, for example, Whitechapel, who was like this deathcore band, and they've really evolved, and they're bringing in kind of some subtleties into their sonic landscape musically, and they're kind of evolving. And some bands might be afraid of doing that, afraid of offending the original fan base. But in an effort to grow their fan base, they do things like that. Is that something that you guys see happening even now as you're becoming more Capra, the band, in evolution and what you're doing musically?
I think we just. Are you talking about offending our crowd?
No, I'm just talking about forget the crowd. Like some musicians, hey, fuck the crowd. We're gonna do whatever we want to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of
like music. Yeah.
It's like a little. It's like a little bit harder and a little bit faster is what I'd say.
Right. There's a lot more like thrash influence for sure.
Okay, yeah.
It's just really, it just comes down to how we're feeling. Like, I mean, we're gonna keep evolving and we're gonna keep doing things different, no matter if it, if it's like, oh, the first album sounds different than the second album. It's like, this is just kind of what we want to do. This is what we did on the first one.
I'm not opposed to growth and evolution.
Sure. No, me neither.
You shouldn't be.
Right.
And if that does offend the crowd, it's like we're still doing what we want to do.
And see, that's the thing that I find so appealing when it comes to real musicians, is that they stay true to themselves and what they want to do as artists, and not do what the label wants or what the market wants and things like that. Great, awesome. Any guys, as we get near the end of this interview, any last words, any thank yous? Want to send out any love to people out there who will watch this around the world? Go ahead and grab the mic.
I wish I prepared for that question.
You love a lot of people.
I do love a lot of people. I love everybody. That's the problem. Just thank you so much to everybody who's supported us. Also, I just wanted to mention that there's been like a huge amount, and I played in other groups before this, but there has been such a huge increase of just women in the crowd, which has been incredible. I mean, it's just been so amazing. And these are some badass chicks that are like moshing, know every word to the songs. It's just amazing to see.
It is really cool to see.
Yeah, and that's just, I want to just give a little shout out to that for sure.
Yeah, let's keep that going.
Absolutely. Yeah. We love y'all.
They wish they could express like you.
Yeah, it's just been amazing.
I have to talk to you about seriously, because the longevity of our program, about who, and I don't know if you know who she is, but when I think, if someone ever said to me, Rob, who was the original female, because now, women in heavy music are abundant, but when you think about like the original female front woman who was like really, and I'll give you a hint, from Metal Blade Records, who really came out and opened the doors in the underground heaviness and really heavy metal brutality, and came out and opened the doors for a lot of and inspired a lot of female musicians. I want to tell you, you know who that is? You know who I'm talking about?
No.
Her name is Karen Crisis. Do you know who Karen Crisis is?
I do.
Yeah, Karen Crisis was the lead vocalist for a band called Crisis, and they were signed to Metal Blade Records. They did like 3 records, and a lot of people, they came out in the '90s, and a lot of people don't remember her or know her because, it was so long ago now.
Yeah.
Well,
Check it out. Yeah, check it out. Go ahead, my man. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, I had nothing to say.
No farewells?
No, I'm just listening. Oh, you wanted me to?
Yeah, no, not on Karen Crisis. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
farewell.
I was like, I'm just listening to you. No, like shout out to Metal Blade. Shout out to Matt Bacon and Chris Santos,
Of course, yeah.
Aaron at Heavy Talent. You know, all of these people are you know, kind of pulling our strings, and
Sure.
they're helping us along the
For
way.
sure.
So huge thank you to all of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Shout out to my dog. I miss her a lot being on tour. Yeah.
Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick. Yeah,
merch
prints our
guy.
merch and everything.
Jeremy, you,
Shout out LA Backbeat. That's the sticks I use. That's a local guy. He makes my sticks. I just want to. Yeah, I want to put him out there because he is a one-man show and he makes an amazing product.
Now they're going to be mad at me for forgetting, but shout out to Balaguer Guitars.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sick.
sick.
It is. It is really cool.
Yeah, where was that? Where are they from?
Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
And you picked it up.
Yeah, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. We on our way to Philly, we stopped and picked that one up. So now I have two.
Everybody's like, what? Stop. Get your guitar, bro.
Yeah, everybody was a little
Yeah,
bit butthurt.
There was
but-
multiple trips, like to pick up new stuff. Like, yeah, I had a drum set that I had met a guy in Atlanta. He drove from Tennessee to trade. That we had talked months about, like meeting up because shipping drums isn't fun. So so there was a lot of coordinating going on. It's just everything going on behind us right now.
It's a circus back here.
It's all good. It's all good.
Tour's crazy.
It's all good. Well, thank you guys very much
thank
for the
you.
opportunity to chat with you today. Oh, my pleasure. I wanted to come out here and support this record, and I wanted to share this record with all of you people out there tonight because In Transmission is a killer piece of brutal music. Like I said, right after you watch this interview, be sure to go out there. It's on all music media outlets. Download it, jam it, rock it. You saw the band Capra only right here on Rob's.